Hello, friends, and welcome to Empower You 2 podcast. I'm your host, Natasha Paris, and I'm excited because you are in the building with me. You can be anywhere in the world, but you have chosen to be here with me, and I am so humbled and appreciative. Let me tell you about this show. Each and every single week, we continue to empower you to greatness that is truly going to help you, whether you are a person that have experienced a heartbreak, have gone through a divorce, or have endured levels of trauma of any kind, or you're just a person trying to rebuild their life and themselves, and now you are finally ready to live a life full of abundance, joy, and peace, then this show is for you. So with that said, thank you again for being here. I am extremely grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you because together we are empowered for greatness. You ready? Let's go. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Empower You 2 podcast. I am, you know what I say, excited as always to come to you. For those who don't know, I am your host, Natasha Paris, the empowerment strategist. And oftentimes people ask, what is an empowerment strategist? What is that? Well, you know what? An empowerment strategist is a person like myself, right? Who helps you tap into the power that lives within you. Because oftentimes when we're going through difficulties, when we're going through some pain, which we'll talk about today, right? When we're going through those things, we don't often remember that we have power to change the trajectory of our life. We have the power to make things happen. And more importantly, we are so amazing. And so as a strategist, I strategically help you identify that power that lives within you. Then I also look at how, with my empowerment formula, look at your thinking and how your thinking creates your feelings and how your feelings create your behavior and how your behaviors become habitual. I also dissect what other areas in your life that you're having some difficulty in, such as your finances, such as your mental health, looking at your childhood, looking at how you relate to people. In addition, I look at areas of spirituality and areas of career and work and employment, right? So I look at all of those areas in your life and help you become the best version of yourself. So I strategically empower you. That's why I'm called the empowerment strategist. For those who were asking, what is an empowerment strategist? Okay, my friends, I hope you are doing well today because today I want to talk about something that I have been through, that I have counseled individuals through. In addition, I want to talk to you personally about being able to find what? Find peace and rebuild your life after a heartbreak. Because what we know about heartbreak, emotional heartbreak, intimacy heartbreak after a relationship, after a marriage, that it can take a toll on you, my friend. God knows it can take a toll. Oh my goodness. It can really take a toll. And what I've come to realize is that once someone has gone through an emotional heartbreak, an intimate heartbreak, you actually feel like you have fallen in a deep pit and you're trying to figure out how to get out. So the how to get out is how do you rebuild your life after heartbreak? Okay, so that's our topic today. Episode 17. Can you believe it? Episode 17 is rebuilding your life after heartbreak. Okay, so let's talk about it. What I know for sure is, particularly because I have been through it. Oh my goodness. Been through that heartbreak where you just couldn't see your hand before your face because it was so dark. and you were trying to figure it out while I was trying to figure it out. And I don't know who else out there is trying to figure it out, but I came out, and I came out broken, but I was able to come back and become the best version of myself. I'm still working on it, my friends, but I am so much better now than I was before. Okay, so let's talk about it. What is heartbreak? Heartbreak is exactly the title. It is when your heart is broken and you are trying to mend the pieces. And it can come from someone, right? Either cheating on you, or someone who, appeared to be one way and they was not, or they were very hostile or toxic, or, all things were great and then they ghosted you, right? And you're trying to figure out what happened. Everything was great, and I don't know what happened. And you're trying to mend the pieces and trying to get your mind together. So let's talk about, what are the ill effects of heartbreak? What are the ill effects that most individuals go through? And what I know is that when my heart was broken, I went into a depression. And I didn't even acknowledge it at that time. But now that I look back at it, I said, yes, I actually went through a depression stage. And let's talk about it, because there's so many negative effects, but I'm going to talk about 5 ill effects of heartbreak. The first is emotional distress. My goodness, heartbreak often leads to intense feelings. When you're trying to figure out what is happening, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling an enormous amount of grief. Yes, grief and loss is not just about losing someone in death. It can also be equated to losing someone in life. The heartbreak can have various negative effects on your actual well being, my friends. I mean, I'm telling you, you can feel like all is lost. You can feel overwhelmed, anxious, and, like I said, depressed. The second is physical symptoms. Let me tell you, and let's just have a conversation. I could not sleep. It was difficult for me to go to sleep. And when I was asleep, I wasn't in my REM sleep. That's that real deep sleep where your body is actually repairing itself. I couldn't go there. And when I was asleep, I was having dreams. It was interrupted sleep. And for those who know me personally, and just if you've seen me before, I'm not the biggest. I'm fairly thin. Well, I've actually gained some weight, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was thin, and when I was not getting any sleep, I got thinner. Yes, I got thinner to the point where some I knew and knows me well, I had taken some photos, and he said to me, "Do you now have dimples in your cheek?" I didn't have dimples in my cheek. I actually got dimples in my cheek because my face was like sunken in, because I wasn't getting any sleep. And so, because I don't get any sleep, or I wasn't getting any sleep, I was losing weight on top of being thin. But let me tell you, how I know that I am so much better is because I'm sleeping better. I actually have gained some weight, and I actually have a butt now. Yes, I'm just telling you for what it is. I have a nice round day, yeah, right? A butt, right? So, yes, it really does. And I'm laughing about it now, but I couldn't laugh about it then, because physically it can take you through it all. You'll feel also levels of fatigue. You'll feel tired. It'll also change your appetite. For those who are emotional eaters, you might be eating more, or those who don't eat, they end up losing weight. So it does something to you, which allows your immune system. And I hate to say allow, but it really does a doozy on your immune system, which means that it weakens your immune system, which is easily prone to getting sick and also diseases. The third is, of course, it makes you feel levels of hopelessness. It makes you feel like all is lost and things cannot get better. I was feeling levels of hopelessness. No one knew, but I was feeling it. I was feeling like, what's going on? And I kept praying and hoping that things will change. But what I realized, and we're going to talk about it, I had to change. I had to come to the understanding and the realization that my faith had to grow. And also that that person, that man could not be my all in all, could not be my God. We'll talk about it because God is a jealous God. And so you're talking about, please help him, come back to me, or please let the relationship work out better. When in fact, God wanted it to fail because I was idolizing this person over God. So I was feeling hopeless. Come on, my friends. In addition to that, decreased self esteem. Oh my gosh. The hopelessness that I was experiencing was equaling and falling into decreased self esteem. The rejection left me questioning my own value and my desirability, whether I was a desired individual that someone else may look at and say, yes, she's my woman or she's my wife. In addition, it also causes us, number five, it causes us to have difficulty trusting others again. Experiencing heartbreak for so many individuals like myself and for others that I've counseled causes you to become more guarded, and you find it challenging to trust others in future relationships. This can impact your ability to form and maintain healthy connections, my friends. So, what I know is that it is a doozy that is placed on your spirit, on your mind, your emotions, your physicality when you have endured heartbreak. Because again, it is a sense of loss because you either had this perception of this person to be something that they were not, right? Or you wanted the relationship to be something that it wasn't, right? Because what I was doing was I had this false narrative of the relationship when in fact, it was what it was in my face, but I didn't want to admit to it. I didn't want to acknowledge it. I kept trying to make it fit into the mold of what I wanted in my head. How many of us have done that? And caused the heartbreak because if I would have known better, if I would have made my decisions better, if I would have been honest with myself for what the reality was, maybe I wouldn't be heartbroken. But let me tell you, it has opened up so many doors. It has caused me to be on a platform where I can say, I am better. I can help others get to a place where they're looking at what they're doing, they're thinking about what they're thinking about, and they're being realistic with themselves about who that person is or what they want. Come on, ladies. I'm talking to my ladies right now. Yes, some men are listening, but have we gotten to that place where we try to create the relationship into something that we wanted it to be and we found ourselves heartbroken? So, no matter how you've gotten there, how your heart has been broken, I want you to know I want you to know, my friend, that there is an out. There is a beautiful, beautiful life after heartbreak. And there are things that God has called you to do in order for you to become the best version of yourself. And yes, getting heartbroken was one of them. Oh my gosh. I hate to say it, but getting heartbroken was one of them. Because, my friends, what do I mean by that? That sometimes God has a way of getting our attention. Sometimes God has a way of allowing us, oftentimes, allowing us to go through things that are difficult. So we cannot rely on someone, but rely on Him. And also, more importantly, if not equally important, I should say, is because it builds our sense of character, it builds our sense of worth, it builds our sense of resiliency, very much like a butterfly, right? Before a butterfly is actually a caterpillar. I hope you knew that. You were supposed to learn that in second grade, if not first grade, okay? And in order for a caterpillar to turn into a butterfly, they have to go into a cocoon. And that cocoon, like to break out of that cocoon when ready, is a tough thing. So much like a heartbreak, right? It is a tough thing to go through, but it is so rewarding at the end. And I know if you're in the midst of it right now, you're like, girl, shut up, right? Girl, what are you talking about? You're not making any sense right now. But the only reason why I can say and speak on it is because I was there. So let's talk about it, my friend. How do you rebuild your life after heartbreak? I want you to know it's a gradual process and it requires time and grace. It requires you giving yourself grace and forgiving yourself. Because what we know is that for me is that I started blaming myself for getting involved in a relationship that I saw all of the signs, all of the red flags, but I chose to ignore it, right? Because I enjoyed spending time with them from a friendship perspective, but from a personal, intimate perspective, was not good. But I want you to understand that rebuilding your life, and when I'm talking about rebuilding your life, I'm talking about emotionally, I'm talking about mentally, I'm talking about physically, right? I told you what it does to you physically. I'm talking about financially. If you've ever been a divorcee or have gotten a divorce or had shared, assets with someone that you loved, it takes a toll on your finances. It really does, right? So we're talking about aspects of your life, okay? Because it takes time. And so some of the steps that I'm going to talk about is going to help with this healing journey that you are on or that you've been through and not really have healed because you didn't know what to do. And the biggest myth, or I should say misconception or strategy for healing after heartbreak is getting under someone else. Please, I'm telling you right now, my friends, don't do it. I know so many people who have come through my office in my therapy sessions, have been scholars, have been clients who've went through a divorce or went through a heartbreak. And what they ended up doing was they ended up getting into another relationship because they thought that that would heal them, when in fact, all it did was added to the laundry of dirty clothes. Yes, I'm using the metaphor of laundry. It added to the dirty clothes, and the dirty clothes, where were they? On top of you. So you were not, or you're not able to really focus on you and see what are the flaws that you need to correct? What are the flaws that you really examine and see how you don't repeat those steps? Like, what is it that you're doing that's causing you to be in that situation? And that's what I had to do for myself. So let's talk about a few tips, right? A few tips. I'm going to talk about 5. I like the number 5. I love the number 3, right? Those odd numbers, I do, right? So let's talk about it. The first thing is, like I said, you first have to give yourself grace. Give yourself grace and don't rush the process of healing. Allow yourself to grieve, my friends. Recognize and accept your emotions. Give yourself permission to feel the pain. Because, like I said, that whole myth about getting under someone will help heal you and you'll be better and you'll be so much freer. No, because what you're doing is you're ignoring your feelings, you're ignoring the pain, and you're hiding and putting a band aid over a gunshot wound. My friends, I want you to know that heartbreak comes with pain. And it's important to process the pain as much as it is easy to run away from it, get with someone else, and be in another relationship. It's more important and vital, my friends, for you to process it and not suppress it. Because let me say to you, like I say to all of my clients, if you don't deal with what hurt you, it will come back to haunt you. Let me say that again. If you don't deal with what hurt you, it will come back to haunt you. Yes, it never went away. It will rear its ugly head when you least expect it, and it can come in the forms of symptoms, whether it's anger, whether it's frustration, whether it's lack of patience, whether it is physical ailments such as an ulcer or migraine headaches. So don't suppress it. Another thing is, I want you to practice self care. I've been talking about this throughout all of my episodes, from episode 1, 2, 3, in my empowerment affirmations. This is why I feel it's important to affirm what it is that you want. Practice self care. Take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. Because if you don't, we know what those effects look like. We talked about it already. But it's important for you to engage in activities that bring you joy, my friends. Bring you joy. I shared with you that I just came back about a couple of weeks ago from a vacation trip to Jamaica with my children. And it was so amazing, and it was an opportunity for me to let my hair down and really engage in activity of joy when it comes to my kids. Because sometimes I ride them, because I want them to be better than I am. I want them to be responsible. I want them to be disciplined in many regards, right? Because this life is tough, and I want to give them those skills in which to do it. And sometimes it comes out as frustration. So this trip was really amazing for me and my kids, of course, because we did a lot of the things that they wanted to do, which I enjoyed. And not only activities that bring you joy, my friends, but also helps you to relax. Another piece is I want you to exercise regularly when it comes to physical self-care, and eating nourishing foods and getting enough rest and sleeping and drinking water, because all of those things are going to help you repair your mind, repair your body. Because what I know is that your mind and your body and your spirit are all interconnected. You can't have one without the other. Okay, well, in the spirit realm, you can, but that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother episode, right? So it's important for you to do those things to not only gain joy and find joy, but to also relax and allow your body to repair itself. Number 3, lean on your support system. Reach out to your friends, your family, or support groups, or Empower You Too School can support you tremendously, because we don't only offer individual support, but we also offer community support. I help you understand that you are not alone, my friends, that there is a community of individuals that have either gone through the same thing that you have gone through, or they are going through it right now, and they can support you because they're like, look, sis, I'm in it with you and you're not alone. Okay. So I want you to surround yourself with people who uplift you and support you in your healing journey. 4, I want you to reflect and learn. This is why I say that it's important for you not to run away from your feelings. It's important for you to understand the lessons and insights that you've gained from that relationship. I mean, and look at yourself. Because for me, I looked at myself and I said, oh my goodness, why did I become this person? Because I felt like I had to appease them. And then I had to think about, okay, well, why did I want to appease them? Well, because I felt like I had to appease my parents because I was the middle child, which, I mean, there's some truth to that, right? But I was always out doing my own thing. And I didn't look for so much validation, but when I did, it wasn't there. And so I had to look at myself. And so when you understand the root causes of why you do what you do, then you can honestly say, I'm going to be out on the lookout. I'm going to look at my behaviors. I'm going to look at what it is that I do. And I'm going to make sure that I don't do those things that cause me pain. Come on, my friends. That is so, so important, for you to reflect on those breakups and consider how you have grown. I've grown tremendously. And I want you to understand that it helps you develop healthier relationships with others. And most important, it helps you develop a healthier relationship with yourself. 5, and my last one is that I want you to understand that it is important for you to set boundaries, my friends. Oh, I'm going to talk about it. Set boundaries. You have to establish what you will and will not do, because people will what? Do what you allow them to do. Right? If they know that they can walk over you, they'll do it. If they know that you'll turn a blind eye to certain things, which I did, they'll do it. Come on now. So it's important for you to set boundaries of what you want. And that's going to lead me to talking about the empowerment homework assignment, the empowerment assignment for today. But I'm going to talk about it momentarily. But I want you to understand that you can literally create boundaries, and you can say to your person, which is you, right? This is what I will not tolerate, right? And that's also when it comes to an ex-partner, right? In order for you to heal, you need to go no contact. So you need to set personal boundaries where you're not communicating with them. You are not following them on social media. You have deleted their phone number. And if for some reason you memorized it, do not put it back in your phone, right? Block the number, right? Because you have to give yourself time to heal. So when I say no contact, I mean no contact, because you cannot heal, especially if the individual still wants to be in your life, like the situation I was in, wants to still be in my life. But I was like, I'm not doing this anymore because I was hurting myself. And then also, in addition to that, if there are pictures of you and that person, delete it. You might say, well, I want the memories. Well, put it somewhere like on a drive or something, right? Put it on a flash drive and hide it somewhere where you won't find it and you'll find it later or something like that. Because the thing is that you need to not consistently trigger yourself of the memories, and because your mind is going to do it anyways, my friends, right? But you don't want to trigger yourself to go backwards, right? And you don't want to trigger painful memories of what happened, because it's important for you to focus on creating a space for healing and growth. Not a space that's full of mud, not a space that's full of, you know, quicksand or, booby traps. You want to set a journey for yourself to heal, and that's going to require you to do some things that you did not do before. Okay? So, my friends, let's summarize, and then I'm going to give you the empowerment affirmation. I should say the empowerment assignment. Okay? So, what we know about heartbreak, it can be very devastating. It can be very hurtful, but I want you to understand that heartbreak often leads to intense feelings, right? And so we know what those ill effects look like, intense feelings, and that leads to being overwhelmed and anxious or even depressed. Okay. Another ill effect of it is physical symptoms. It impacts your body, it impacts your mind. It causes you to either lose weight, like I did, oh my gosh, and also it causes you to have insomnia where you can't sleep. You're like counting sheep forever and ever and ever, right? Right. And then it can also take a huge impact internally, right? It can really impact your stomach, right? Your core muscles, or it can really cause you to have a heart attack. And my goodness, I don't want that for you, not one bit. It also impairs you mentally. We talked about it already, depression, right? And you can't even see your hand in front of your face. And I want you to, and I did mention this before, but I want you to know that it can also contribute to mental health issues and conditions such as anxiety, right? And if you have existing, my friends, if you have existing mental health concerns, it can exacerbate it. It can take it to the next level, okay? In addition, it decreases your self esteem, and also it causes you to feel guarded and not trust again. Find it very challenging to trust again. So, yes, absolutely. Those are the ill effects. But yes, there is life in rebuilding yourself after a heartbreak. Okay. So, what I know for sure is that it's important for you to allow yourself to grieve. That's how you rebuild your life. Allow yourself grace and forgive yourself. Practice self care. Get some rest. Take care of yourself. Engage in things that bring you joy, my friends. You know what I say about joy, okay? Also, lean on your support system, right? Lean on friends, reach out to them. And you know what? I say this all the time. It's important for you to reflect, because if you don't reflect and you are dealing with hurt, or people that have hurt you, and you don't deal with it, it will come back to haunt you. So you have to reflect and learn from the things that you've done or the things that have been done to you, so you become the best version of yourself, my friends. So what is the, or I should say, what are the self-empowerment homework assignments? Okay, right. The first thing is, I want you to understand that it is important for you to give yourself grace. And so the empowerment assignment is, I want you to write a letter to yourself. Write a letter to yourself and really write out all of the things that have happened, and then say at the end, I forgive you. I forgive you. And call yourself by name. I forgive you. For me, I forgive you, Tasha. I forgive you. God loves you. God has forgiven you, right? Even though we may not have done anything and it was the person's fault, I want you to forgive yourself, because oftentimes we harbor and we hold on to the guilt of what someone else has done to us. Okay. The next empowerment assignment is, come on now, I want you to stay focused on loving you. Do the mirror work. What is mirror work? Talk to yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look into your eyes, because what they say, the eyes are the windows to the soul. And so it's important for you to look into your eyes and speak life. That's how you rebuild your life, is by speaking life. You may not see it right now around you, in the physical realm, but you have to say, and I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to speak to myself. Tosh, you are built for better. Or Lisa, you are greater than this. Or Michelle, I love you. And this is your time now. Speak to yourself. Say it at least 2 or 3 times a day for 2 weeks. That's the empowerment assignment. I want you to write a letter to yourself. And at the end of the letter, I want you to say, I forgive you. God forgives you, right? The second empowerment assignment is I want you to start doing mirror work. And the first assignment within the mirror work is you saying to yourself, girl, I love you, or this has not come to break me. And call and say your name as you're saying it, because you're speaking into your soul, my friends. So, with that said, I'm so excited to come before you as your host, because I'm not only your host, but I'm also a client. I have been there too. I have been there. And my ultimate goal for everyone that listens is to know that your life is an amazing place. Yes, there are mountains and there are things that you have to climb over, but it's an amazing place and it's an amazing journey. And all you have to do is understand that you are empowered for greatness, because without greatness, there's no you. And without you, there's no greatness. So, with that said, my friends, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Bye. If you are loving this content and our time together as we become empowered for greatness, and you want to connect with me more, I would love for you to come and check out my Self-Empowerment Scholars. It's my monthly empowerment sessions where we take all of the materials learned on the podcast and apply it and study it and take it to the next level. So join me over at Empower You, the letter U, 2, right? The number 2.com/join, or you can text the word empower to 571-464-6511. That's text the word empower to 571-464-6511. Also, if you've ever gained an ounce of wisdom or the episode resonated with you, I simply ask that you do 4 things. The first is I want you to subscribe right now if you have not done so already. The second is I want you to hit that 5-star button on your favorite platform. The third is I want to hear from you. I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear how it has resonated for you. In addition, the last, I want you to share this message with someone. It allows us to spread the message of empowerment to those who are desperately in need. So I look forward to seeing you on the next episode, and I want you to be what? Empowered for greatness. See you soon.